every day, our producer's really getting,
Cranking up.
no, bro. I mean, even though we have, step
support.
it up.
We have support here.
No, it's producer, executive producer, chief of staff. Thank you, Jay. What a great podcast we're going to have today.
Yeah.
I got so many questions. Who do we have today, sir? Talk to me. Take away the
Alina Nuñez.
Alina Nuñez. Hola, hello, Alina.
Buenos
Estate,
dias.
title, and law.
Well, no. Alina's going to tell us everything she does.
The first thing I asked her was,
Why?
Are you nervous for coming on? She goes, are you serious?
Please, bro. Let me tell you something.
Please, I'm ready. And
Listen,
I like it.
Before we aired, I don't know why we should record the before airing of the airs because Alina,
We're old friends.
Íntimo.
Yeah.
Íntimo.
And then
Like
she
I
makes me
say.
feel really bad saying end of life.
No.
Your end of life
Well,
planner.
we're gonna
And
get
I'm
into
like,
that.
Coño.
Alina,
It
I
hit
know
me
we
hard, bro.
introduce yourself and tell us everything you do.
Sure. Thank you guys for having me here. So my name is Alina Nuñez, and I am an attorney, and I specialize in real estate law, estate planning, and probate law. So I like to say I'm a dirt lawyer. Either you're buying a piece of dirt or you're being buried under it. I'm your girl, man. I'm
That
your
should be your
girl.
tagline.
That should
be-
I'm a
Is
dirt
it?
lawyer.
I am the dirt lawyer.
Hashtag that damn thing. Hashtag dirt lawyer.
Yeah.
So we were talking before we started recording because she was so gracious enough to bring us this. I'll show you guys right here. It's called the End of Life Planner. But as soon as I open this thing, you don't understand. This is so
Amazing.
good.
De verdad, honestly.
Because you thought about this.
Yes, we.
Yeah.
It's not like you bought this.
No, absolutely.
Right.
No, my marketing assistant, I have to give a shout out to
Yeah,
her.
100%.
She put this entire thing together. I gave her my vision,
Yes.
which actually came from my clients because
Right.
I'll get clients and they're like, I wish I had somewhere. I wish, my mom or my dad had left something so I would know, because that's the number one question we get when someone dies. It's like,
Yes.
well, I don't know what bank accounts they had. I don't know this. I don't know. How do I find out?
Yeah.
And my answer is always like, you got to go through their papers.
Correct.
And we were
It's
just talking
amazing,
about that
de verdad.
because what you have here is basically you can keep this also in a box in a safe.
Absolutely.
And, but you have
Yeah.
everything here.
Hopefully someone doesn't steal
You
it.
know? But still, you have bank accounts, subscriptions, shopping subscriptions, Wi-Fi information. This is
Wow, you even have a living will or advanced directive.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And we even have a section if you have pets.
Power of
Yes.
attorney.
What you want to happen with your
Listen,
pets.
Oh my God.
You can leave a special note to someone.
that.
In the back, we have where if you want to leave
Look
some
what
notes.
happened with Leona Hemsley. She left how many millions to the pets?
Yes, I absolutely.
I went to New York trying to see if I can adopt those damn pets.
Wow.
I'll take care of the dog.
They have a page here. Instructions for when I'm executed.
Well, that could happen
Chronic
too.
conditions. Oh my God.
Yeah. So we put this
Yeah.
together, and so I give this to all of my clients that do their estate planning,
Right.
as
Impressive.
for them to put it together, and also because sometimes when people say, "Well, I have all of that on my computer."
Correct.
Bueno, but
So,
if you die,
let's-
how do you know to log in?
Let's get into that. Let's get into that because I want to get really into the thing because I really love these podcasts because I feel that, and you and I talked about this before, I feel that people think that estate planning and all this is for wealthy people.
Yeah.
And I think that is one of the biggest misconceptions out there.
Absolutely.
And what people don't understand, because you and I were chatting, you're looking at programs and the fact of when you're growing up, these families, the wealthy families, those are the ones that leave all these, wills and estates and everything.
Yeah.
Guys and gals and all our, dear Miami family, it's so important to know, and this is where I want you to jump in now and talk about this. But even if you own just one, listen, and she can tell you a story, but we're not going to say it very much because of,
Attorney-client privilege.
Attorney-client privilege. But there could be just your house, a duplex, an apartment,
A scooter.
or
That
anything
scooter.
that you own. And if you pass away, you don't have that written down who should get it. What happens, Alina?
People fight. I have seen literally families come into the process of probate. No, my number one question when I meet with a client is, besides, going through the usual, finding out that I always ask, how is the family dynamic? Is everybody getting along? Is there any issues? No, we're all good. We're all good. We're all good.
Hasta que te muera.
Hasta que te muera. Then once we're in probate, the claws come out.
What's
and
that song? Whatever. I don't know the song. Whatever.
and people are fighting over anything, over a motorcycle that didn't work. but it had a sentimental value. I had 2 siblings fighting over that.
Think about that, but yeah.
Yeah, just anything like I want this piece of jewelry or I want this or I want that. And it's people will tear the family apart over it.
But you know what scares me? And this is maybe something, I don't know if this is one of the reasons why people also don't do it. If I have this and I put something here like, I don't know, you know, X goes to my daughter, X goes to my sister, X goes, and other family members see it, you know. Or,
but who are you showing that to?
Who do they care? It's your dad.
This is secret.
Yeah, well,
you're
that's
dead.
yours.
Or they see it before and they're like, coño, but you don't get that to them, give it to me.
Right, but don't show that to anybody.
Okay.
I mean, go.
Like if my wife were to see it, she'd be like, well, why are you doing that for X person? You should do that for me.
Right, but no. Alina can answer that, but I'm going to tell you right now. Those are things those are your wishes that you want to have and you can do, and that's the part that she's going to explain to you.
Yeah.
That's why estate planning is so important, because you go ahead and you plan your estate, and it's something right.
Yeah,
Alina?
estate planning is private. None of this comes to life or comes out in the public until the point where you pass away, and by then, you're dead. You're gone. It's an eye. But if you do a will, if you do a trust, anything like that, it's not public records. So nobody will see that unless you tell them or give it to them.
Got you.
So they're not, my clients ask me, once I sit down, I do their estate planning, they're like, well, should I give a copy to who I named as my executor? And I always tell them, that is up to you. You do not have to. I always suggest at a minimum, whoever you named as your executor, you let them know these documents exist. I have my estate planning done. I travel a lot. So when I got everything done, I said, I need to sit down and do this because, hello, this is what I do. I mean, I hadn't done mine. I literally called my brother over one day. I go, hey, ven acá. I go, you see this drawer? You see this filing cabinet? You see this folder? If anything happens to me,
it's all there.
It's all in there. Find this. My kids know all passwords and everything are on my phone. I'd say if anything happens to me, forget the body. Look for the phone.
Yeah.
But you don't have to share that if you don't want to.
I was always under the impression that estate planning and trust and all that was done together as a unit, as a family.
You could.
You
could.
So then I've always been like, so then I'm like, if I get to the table there and planning and everything, and then I already know this is what's going to say, but why this, but why that, but
Well,
so you want to kind of avoid that too.
Well, this is a conversation, especially if you're married, that at a minimum you should be having with your spouse. You guys should be kind of on the same page.
Yeah.
And estate planning, yes, it is done. Each of you have your own documents. If we do a trust, typically it is a joint trust. You can have more than one trust. I've had clients where they have joint assets and then they have separate assets. So we have a joint family trust and then we have individual trusts.
Okay, so I have a question on that regards. You know what I'm saying? So I go in with my spouse because usually you as a spouse, you have your kids, you're going to go ahead and name your kids, or sometimes what kid is a little bit more responsible, what kid's not more responsible. So the ones that maybe say, oh yeah, I left, I had a life insurance policy and I left $100,000, okay? And you're going to say, oh, I'm going to give each, $50,000. Now, you could put provisions, right? You could put stuff. You got to do this with it, or you can do this.
Now, I want to let you know that out of your family, I would probably be the most responsible kid. Okay?
Anyway, but at the end of the day, what I'm saying is that if you do that estate planning, right, with your wife or your husband, and you're going to leave your kids, there could be always, and I understand Addie's point, discrepancies between the, like saying, let's talk about Cubans, no?
Yeah.
As a Cuban, tú le vas a dar a Manolito tanto dinero?
Yeah.
Correct.
En 3 semanas eso se va. Yeah.
You're going to go to drugs.
And that is the beauty of having a trust.
Right.
Because you name a trustee para que Manolito no se lo gasta over a booby trap.
Correct.
He has some sort of inheritance.
But at the end of the day, can you not all, sometimes the parents don't agree to his point.
Yes.
Now, if I do that, can I come back to you, or it has to be both of us? Like saying, Alina, you know what? I was thinking about this, but I do think that, or does that then, I guess you can really get it complex and complicated into this situation.
Oh, no, you can go down the rabbit hole. I'm going to give you the very typical lawyer answer.
Yes.
It depends.
Okay.
Because if it's marital assets, if it's joint assets together,
Yeah.
then no, you can't say, well, I'm not going to leave this to my wife.
Okay, that's a good point.
Yes. But if it's like
That's a
assets
good
that are
point.
separate
Right.
to a certain extent,
Okay.
then yes, you
That
can
makes
do,
sense.
I have estate plans where I'm only doing the estate planning for one of the spouses because they are the ones that, have the majority of the assets.
Correct.
So it's not always joint. It really depends on the situation. That's the other thing. People think, estate planning is a one and done. We get calls like, oh yeah, how much do you charge for a will? Or how much do you charge for this?
Right.
I can't give you an answer.
Yeah.
Because it
Correct.
really does depend. No, lo mío fácil.
Right.
I have a very simple. I love that. I'm like, really?
Right. Yeah, no, I have nothing.
And when we start
Right.
going into it, and it's not just the assets, it's the family structure. Do you have minor kids? Well, now they can't inherit. Do we put in a trust? I had a client who had a child with a lot of drug issues, dependency. Her biggest number one concern was, if I pass away, I want him to inherit her only child. But her concern was that he would,
Correct.
OD or
So
something.
we have to set it up with restrictions, with provisions.
Correct.
And so that way she has peace of mind.
Right.
Yeah. What is the most money you have ever seen like passed down? Like you've ever seen like, wow, this is ridiculous.
As far as like through a trust, like planning
Like,
for a
this is,
trust.
Like you're like, this family is really happy that this guy.
Yeah, well, in probate, so that's the thing.
Sorry.
Yeah, typically, people that have large sums of money, but we were talking about it earlier too, that not everybody, they'll have their estate planning done. So it doesn't have to go through probate. It'll go through a trust. If they don't have it done, then it has to go through probate. Estate planning, I'd say probably my highest net worth client that I've helped with estate planning is around 20 million. Yeah. No, and I was telling him the funny thing is he had nothing done.
Right.
No estate planning done.
Which, by the way, and not to interrupt you, but I was just floored right now because what I love about her Instagram page is that she'll go ahead and show. Let's talk about the fact what she just told me. Prince. Prince passed away. He had nothing.
No estate plan.
way.
No
you know,
estate
the
plan.
guy was worth what? I
His
don't know. hundreds of
royalty.
$500 million.
His
What?
royalty.
What do you mean $500,000?
His licensing.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah,
Just
His
on
catalog.
song,
Yeah.
You know,
And all of that
And
is
that's
part of your
lifetime
estate.
money.
and that's lifetime money.
And that's all. That catalog of music is part of your estate.
Yeah.
I had a probate once where it was a Jamaican musician, and he did a couple songs with Bob Marley and stuff back in the day, and he had
Nice.
he had royalties, and he had certain songs and stuff, licensing rights. That's part of your estate.
Yeah, I think I just saw something recently like that where it was Michael Jackson's daughter. They're
Yes.
like, listen, we've given you like 25 million since like he passed away, and she's
Yeah.
asking for more and more money.
Yeah, which at the end of the day, he was worth more now passed away than he is alive. But when we were talking about that, I was like a little bit also because this is what I want people to understand. Again, this is not only for wealthy people. No. This is for people common, anything that you have your 9 to 5 with, I don't know, you stop me if I'm wrong. The 401k. Yeah. If you have your 401k or life insurance, how many people don't have just, they have maybe a term life insurance, maybe $50,000.
Yeah.
But you have to leave everything written down because anything happens like that, it's the complications, Alina.
Correct.
So that's what I want you to explain to the people.
Yes.
How everything can just get complicated of a normal person with their house in Westchester.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And on top of that, to add to that, you mentioned something earlier that talked about the emotional attachment that people have.
Yes.
I really didn't think about that beyond monetary.
Yes, absolutely. So I call that my abuelito estate planning.
Yeah.
I'll get, older people come to me in Cuban. I have my house and my bank account.
Correct.
And I tell them, okay, the biggest thing that anybody can do to avoid having monies go through a probate is put a beneficiary on your bank account. You would be surprised how many people, you guys got to check yours, do not have beneficiaries on their bank accounts. If you don't, that asset, that money, whether it's $1,000 or $10 million, will have to go through probate. And you have no idea how many times I'll get clients call me and they'll be like, oh, my brother passed away. No, he had $5,000, $6,000 in the bank account. I'm like, te va a costar half of that to hire me and get that money out of that bank account. If he would have just put a beneficiary, The bank would have handed over the money.
So
to
what
them.
happens in that case?
It has to go through probate. And so, yeah, they got to spend the money to get that money out.
That might even make sense.
It might not. So something even as simple as a bank account and a house, there are ways to avoid probate. Because if they don't have anybody listed, then that house has to go through
And by the way, you're getting free advice.
Yes.
You guys are free advice. This is not costing you the fact to put just somebody on your
Absolutely.
checking account, which is something so simple because sometimes you go like a crazy person just to open an account, on a checking account.
Or you opened it a long time ago before you got married or anything, you know?
Or
before
maybe
you
you
had
have
kids.
an ex-wife or an ex-husband on the
Ooh,
account.
no, take those people out quickly.
But those are easy ways to avoid, as far as with bank accounts.
Yeah.
Property-wise, you can have your house and people are like, oh, but it's just my house. Doesn't matter. That has a value. That's an asset. So we can either put it in a trust. If it's a really simple older couple that maybe doesn't have the means to pay for a trust and whatnot, there are simpler ways that we can do it to avoid probate, ladybird deeds, things like that.
Right, and you know that exists because all the older people love to save their money.
Yes.
Now I found something so interesting. You weren't here, but she told me something right now that I was like, I cannot believe that. If you have heirs. And if you have maybe an heir that is a son or a daughter that lives in Cuba. So that person is, even that they're in Cuba,
they inherit.
They inherit.
They can inherit.
They can inherit. Now, can they inherit if the person put them in the will?
Absolutely.
Okay. But if they didn't put them in the will?
They still can. So when someone dies without a will, it's called intestate. Okay. And a big misconception, people think, well, if you don't have a will, you don't have a estate plan, you die. Oh, the state keeps everything. Absolutely not. What it is that the law, the Florida statute, outlines exactly who is to receive the asset. It's kind of like I say, it's like going through your family tree, buscando, see who's going to be the heir. So there are certain things like first, okay, was the person married? Did they have a spouse? Yes or no? Did they have children? Yes or no? Did that child have children? And it goes through and starts, the priority. So it's spouse, children, then down to grandchildren.
Is this like public information?
This is Florida statute.
There's a system out there that shows everything?
This is Florida statute. This is the law. This is what the law says when you die without a will.
No, but what I'm saying, like, you can go into it. Is there like a system that shows, let me see all of Ed's kids?
Nope. No.
How do you do investigation?
Exactly.
Gotcha.
There's companies that do heir searches. I use PIs a lot.
Gotcha.
And I have a situation now that two of the people passed away and the family hasn't had contact with them in forever. One they think was in New York and blah, blah, blah. And I'm literally there scouring Facebook, scouring Google.
Crazy.
And I actually found her obituary. I found the lady's they did have a date of birth.
Yeah.
I found it just searching through Google. She in New York, it matched. I was reading through the announcement. It made reference to her son's name, which matched what the son's name they told me. So we called the funeral home in New York and we're like, hey, we need to contact this gentleman because he now is inheriting part of an asset through an aunt here in Miami. And so they're like, well, we can't give you his info, but give them ours. And that's how we literally are there like searching through. And if I have family members that, clients that tell me, oh, I haven't spoken to my cousin in forever. I go, well, get on Facebook, get on Instagram, start, searching for them, or we get PIs involved.
So if that person lives in Cuba.
Yes.
Do you guys have to go to Cuba?
So the courts down here in Miami-Dade, they appoint what's called a Cuban ad litem. So there are a handful of attorneys that are approved by the court. I think it's like 3 or 4 right now, that the court appoints them as like a representative for this Cuban heir that is in Cuba. And that attorney is the one that goes back and forth, does go to Cuba, gets whatever documentation needs to, has the heir down there sign whatever they need, and they're the ones going back and forth, and they're the ones that manage that inheritance for that Cuban heir through the court system.
Right.
So, and it makes the situation so complicated.
That sounds like a fun job, though.
No, I don't know. That's fun.
I would love to be a PI. Just looking at
but that's just crazy to me.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact of having an heir in Cuba and then you have to do all this, and then that poor person's like saying, "What? Can I go with you to Miami?"
I know, right?
You can't.
Yeah.
Can I just go with you over there? I mean, that's crazy to me. So, in what would be the smartest for me, like smartest scenario, a family that just, husband and wife just got married. They both have a job. They bought their first house. They're planning a family. Do you do this now, or do you start when you start the family?
You do it now. Your estate plan changes with you. It's not a set in stone. It's not a one and done. It grows as your needs grow. So if you are married and you have a home, you just buy your home, you need to have an estate plan. Then in 3 years, if you have a child, beautiful. We amend that trust. We include that child. In another 3 years, you have another child. Perfect. We amend that trust. We include that child. This is not, set in stone. I always tell people you should always reevaluate your estate planning when there's a birth, a death, a marriage, a divorce.
And how much would something like, how is the fee structure? How much does something like that work? Let's say, somebody wants to come in, they don't have a lot of assets, or I don't know, I guess that, I don't know, that matters, or it doesn't matter,
It really does. That's why I say
matter, right?
it depends.
Right. Done.
Because they could have just a house, but then if they tell me, well, I have minor children.
Yeah.
So now, then now we open up the can of worms of, okay, well, we talk about guardians. And what if something happens to you? Because we don't know. We can get hit by a bus tomorrow.
Yeah, no, 1,000%. Look, I mean, unfortunate situation, which is, it was the brother-in-law of a friend of ours, but the cop that just passed away the other day. I was really sad.
Crazy.
Absolutely.
30.
Yes.
He was my age, 33 years old or something,
I had an assistant of mine that passed away in the year 2000. She was 24 years old in a car crash. And trust me, it could happen to anyone.
That's what I'm saying. And then because that's the thing. That's, we talk about this all the time. The mentality of people, everybody thinks that nothing's going to happen to you.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Or you're just going to happen when you get older or what have you.
Or nobody wants to talk about death.
Or nobody wants to talk about death.
I tell people when my clients come in, I can see them, they're like nervous in the chair.
No,
and I
you
go,
know what? I think you should do like a Halloween thing. A Halloween thing just for, estate planning and a little haunted house where they can go and see you over there.
I tell them, I go, oh yeah, the Grim Reaper is not going to walk in through the door because we're talking about estate planning.
You can't talk about that.
I think that's going to be my costume for next year.
Even the superstitious people. Guys, I cannot emphasize enough, and you know that I've always
big time.
I'm a stickler in this between medicine. This I tell people, there's no amount of money, even if you have $10,000 saved between lo que sea.
Yeah,
write it down.
Yes,
do it with and I know that people say no, I write that down. So dejo ahí a mí. Listen, go to an attorney. Go to you're not gonna get. You have a leak. You're not gonna go ahead and take it now. So you're gonna call a roofer. Yeah. You gotta do this. Listen, guys. Go to an attorney, and like she says, get an estimate.
But I was going to say, is it like retainer based? How do you usually work?
No, we do ours. Our estate planning are done on a flat fee basis. Gotcha. And it really does depend. Depends on the complexity.
Yeah.
I mean, our basic estate plans can be $1,500.
Perfect.
That is like I call it my abuelito, very simple. There's no, but then obviously as the family structure becomes more complicated. If you're like, well, I have minor children, or I have this, and then we need to do this. Obviously, the more complex, our trust packages can be anywhere from $3,500 to $6,500.
That's still good.
But still.
But okay, it's
and it's important.
Let's say we do the smallest thing, like you said. Okay,
you're looking at about $3,500.
Right.
That is a typical husband and wife with kids.
Organizing
exactly.
You're investing in your future.
Yeah.
To have everything perfectly done.
Yeah.
God forbid something happens to you, you have peace of mind. That's the best.
Do you also give advice like, hey, listen, maybe this is not the best life insurance for you, get this one? Do you guys go that level or not really?
I do to a certain extent. Yeah. Yes. Like when we sit down with them, we go through and I tell them we're going to get comfortable talking about the uncomfortable. Not only death, but I'm going to pry into what are your assets because I need to know. I need to know how to best structure it.
Yeah. So do you have a bar in the office?
I have a couple of.
That'll be a long conversation with me.
I have a couple of bottles there. I have a little bottle of Fireball.
Are you ready to talk about this? Let's take a tequila shot.
After 4 tequilas.
Yeah, he's like,
you'll be on the wheel. You'll be on the wheel.
But, we sit down and, and I go into certain details and tell them, look, everything we discuss is confidential, but I do, if they don't have a life insurance, I definitely recommend to them. And again, depending on what their concern is. Like, for example, I took out my life insurance policy many years ago. I had just opened up my own practice. Yeah. My number one concern at the time was if I die, because my kids were very little, I want my mortgage paid off. Yeah. That was my number one. I'm like, if I leave this world tomorrow, they have a roof. That was my biggest fear. So I took out my policy based on that. And then, we've increased it or whatnot. So it depends what keeps you up at night. what is your main concern? Are you concerned that you have a child with an addiction problem and you want to protect it? Are you concerned that you have stepchildren that might be coming in and trying to get their claws on stuff and you do not have a good relationship? Or do you have a special needs child? And when you leave this earth, you want to make sure who's going to take care of that child.
100%.
These are those are more important than the assets.
And you know what, Lina? You just hit one right now because we had this with a lot of different, I don't know who came and talked about this. Well, one of the candidates that's running for city of Miami. But, you just said.
Oh, it was Emilio.
Right. You just said.
You're not going to be able to inherit.
You said, listen, what's happening in the world today is you said right now, I have my life insurance for them to have the paid mortgage.
I saw that episode.
But here we go now, the fact of property taxes. So then the fact is, how many people cannot lose their properties because they're not paying property taxes?
Exactly.
Because you can have a mortgage-free home, but you still have to pay property taxes. So then in that estate planning, to your point, you can structure también that say, okay, from that money can go into an investment account that can at least leave this percentage to pay for property taxes.
Exactly. I have a
structure.
I actually have one now we're working on that. It is a concern that certain bills, if they are not around, so there's going to be a certain amount of money. We're doing a trust, which is the best option in any estate planning. And we're setting aside a certain dollar amount from the inheritance to pay bills. And to be able to maintain and take care of expenses.
What did I just tell you today when we talked about, and I'm just going to say this out there. These are the information that people need.
Yes.
I mean, I was looking at all the news. We had this yesterday, this weekend, we had the whole, this forum that people were coming and chatting, all the billionaires talking to, how it's great to, strive and the business. But these are the conferences that regular folk needs to know.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Because these are not everybody could be the speakers, of all billionaires. And listen, I'm the first one that want to go listen to a speaker say how to become a billionaire. I love it. But out of 10 people, maybe one will become that. But the other regular people need to know this information. And that's important because those kids, to your point, your parents passed away. Oh, they left the house. Concho, but wait, we have to pay X amount a year. And how much do I make? Oh, I'm making $70,000 a year. You have to start thinking, how do you go ahead and start? You got to put away for that.
Yep.
These are the things that are so important. This is why it's so important for people to get this explanation.
But not speaking from a personal experience, right? My mother passed away when I was young, and we have 4 siblings, right? My mother had a life insurance. I think it was like $100,000 or something like that. Nothing crazy. Right. I think we each got like $20,000. This was 2015. The house, she didn't have enough money to pay it off. I was the only one left in the house with my grandfather. My grandfather was living off Medicare. I was a little young kid. I lost that house. That house was foreclosed on. And I tried to keep it, et cetera, et cetera. I ended up having to move in with a friend, whatever. But just that thought process of being able to at least pay off the house.
Exactly.
I would have had tremendo asset right now.
Because then
and I kicked myself in the ass after for not keeping it because
but there was only so much you could do.
The property was like raising right after, and I was like, damn, man, I missed that opportunity. As I got older, obviously you look back.
Of course.
Right. Well, but now from that experience is where you set yourself up
exactly
for the stuff.
Exactly.
But again, I emphasize this. People think that this is just for people that have money.
No. They hear trust and they think the Rockefellers, trust fund babies.
Correcto.
No,
it doesn't work that way.
That's not.
And how many people don't have, and everybody out there, we can attest to this, some people have life insurances through their job, their company.
Yeah.
We have that here, actually.
You go. So right there and then, you don't think about these. Oh, that's great, a life insurance, great. Te moriste, and all of a sudden you looked at the paper. Hey, that accumulated in the years that you went, you have $230,000. Who does that go to?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Correct.
Absolutely.
Because nobody filled out that. Nobody filled that.
Yes.
And honestly, now that you say that, we have a $20,000 life insurance for everyone here that's paid by the company. And I think most of them probably don't even know that they have that.
Yeah. No, but you know what? I'm going to go down and tell everybody they can put
there you go.
I'm going to tell everybody.
Put me as the beneficiary.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just in case.
Yeah.
No, but
and some companies do that too. They take out life insurance on the employee to get money.
Business partners.
Yeah.
Business partners take out life insurance on each other.
Elaborate on that because I've heard of that.
Yes, you can take out life insurance because let's say, for example, I'm an attorney.
That's a good one.
I'm an
That's a
attorney.
good one. Rob.
Yes, I am an attorney. I am an attorney. My husband is not. So if I pass away tomorrow, he cannot step in and continue running my law firm because he's not an attorney.
Yeah.
So, but the law firm is an asset. If I had a partner in my firm, they could take out a life insurance policy on me. So when I die, they use that money to buy out and tell my husband, look, here is the portion of what the firm is valued at based on our caseload, this, that, blah, blah. If you're entitled to $300,000, because that was Alina's share, here's the $300,000. And they use that life insurance policy money to pay out the spouse.
Is that a specific policy or
No,
is it a general policy?
It's a general policy. And then usually what we'll do is we'll tie it in with an agreement amongst the business
That's
partners.
amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's a very good idea.
Yeah.
But that gives you.
And then what? I assume you pay the life insurance through the company.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
that's what I'm saying.
It's like a protection.
Exactly.
I mean,
Wow.
I've always said that in those cases, this is the thing. You go, you sit down with a person with Alina, and you just say, this is my life. What can I do with it?
Exactly.
This is my structure. What can I do with it? I mean, I think it's so simple. It's something that's so simple. And the fact of, especially, and I'm going to give you another scenario. I know of a good friend of mine, special needs.
Mm-hmm.
They have to have everything like I told you earlier, they have everything structured. And to the other day, he even told me, I still have more to do that I have to structure because it's a special needs, child that they have. And the fact is like, okay, they have other siblings, but those two siblings have to have specific
Care.
instructions for their brother. Now, he has to set an amount because he doesn't know where the profession of these two are going to go if they can afford. So think about that. Que tú tengas, to be like a brother or sister, you say, I'm going to have to put my brother or sister somewhere special because I can't afford it.
And not only that, but whatever inheritance they leave that special needs child, it needs to be done correctly. It needs to be put into a special needs trust because if it's not, and that money is given directly,
that's
they
important.
lose their benefits. They will lose their benefits.
So that's called the special needs trust.
Yes, there's a ton of different trusts.
It's crazy.
There is, for that type of situation, special needs trust where you can say, I leave $100,000, to this child. It goes straight into a special needs trust managed by a trustee, whether it's the sibling or whoever you name, and it's for the benefit of that special needs child, and it does not affect whatever aid that they receive. It does not count against like an asset that they have. Yeah. So it's there to pay, and while that child is alive, and then the day that child passes, then the trust will say, okay, then who gets whatever remains.
Okay, I got a strong one for you.
Yes,
I got a strong one for you. Okay, so this one I hear all the time. So husband and wife, no kids. Okay, you say I'm okay. I have $500,000 of a life insurance policy. Husband dies. Is there something you could put there that say, my wife, I don't want her to get this immediately? Because I always think about the sense, okay, here you go, you die, now all of a sudden, here comes the new hot cookie,
papi chulo.
And then starts eating away in the brain of the ex-wife. Oh, no, let's grab this money and invest it here. Could you, put some provisions in that?
Absolutely.
Control how the money's spent.
Yes.
Say, you're not going to get the full $500,000. I'm going to give it to you en goticas.
En goticas, like a little allowance, yes. There are certain things. There's only so much that we say you can control beyond the grave, right? But yes.
I'm sure Manny can control beyond the grave.
But yes, that spouse can set up a trust for their surviving spouse. Yeah. And within that trust, there are provisions of this person inherits it, but how it's paid out. Absolutely.
You've heard those stories.
Oh, yes.
You've heard those stories that they say, oye, vino a morirse este hombre, the Cubans, vino a morirse ahora, vino ahora nuevo y le está chuleando.
Oh, yes.
And you're like, after the guy worked all his life.
I think for your setup, you should have look.
Why is it
a PI, constant monitoring by a PI.
Okay.
And if she's dating anyone, pull the plug.
There you go.
When she stops, pull it back on. If she's dating, pull the plug. Denise, you already know. We're all watching.
Te tienen el ojo puesto.
Hey, let's just say that I'm going first.
Right, but talking about that,
statistically,
tell us about that.
Statistically, men die before women.
Oh, come on.
That's
but
very
still,
sad.
nowadays with everything that's going on.
Even nowadays.
Is that where the widow's peak came from?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, have a good guy that can send people too that give you a whole longevity
Right?
test.
Yeah. No, but statistically, yes. But that is, trust me, I get that number one. I'll get the husband and wife, and we're sitting
Okay,
down.
but have you performed maybe some trust or something like that say, oh, yeah, I don't want him to get the whole thing?
Oh, absolutely.
And
Yes.
it has to be different
yes.
ways. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah,
talking
yeah.
something out of,
No. We absolutely. It's not that uncommon. That is a major concern, and it's funny because when I meet with them, I could already tell. We talk about this, that, and then I could already see kind of like the wife, kind of like, bueno, easy, and I'm like, I know where this is going. I get the question, well, what if I die first, and And I go, and you don't want the new chickie to take
There
care of
you
it?
go.
And
Little
then
30-year-old.
She's like,
Not going to mention nationality.
yeah, right. So, yes, it's a huge concern.
I can see that.
And yes, I've done it, absolutely. And then it also depends, unfortunately, it's a lot more common where maybe one spouse is the predominant breadwinner, has really built up a lot of assets, and is, the business person, has this, and that. And, they've worked hard. They're like, I want to leave it to my spouse. I want to make sure they inherit.
Yeah.
Pero I don't want someone to come in and take advantage. And not only... The bigger concern, believe it or not, is not that they spend it all from the spouse. It's more from the kids. That
take
they
away
don't
the money from their
correct.
kids.
They don't want this new boyfriend or girlfriend to come in, and because they're hooking up with the wife.
But that's what's going to tell
as a
you.
result, are also taking away from
Because,
the kids.
oh yeah, this is so complex. I mean, since the beginning I told you I love these podcasts.
Yeah.
Because we could be here till tomorrow.
Oh, no, yeah.
In the fact of how everything can get so freaking complicated.
Oh, yes.
That same sense, maybe you're a dad that has a child from another. You're now married.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Vice versa.
Yeah.
You're a mother that has a child. The dad divorced. And then now you're the stepchild, but the new, como es el refrán cubano, escobita nueva barre bien.
Yes, yes.
You know what I'm saying? So,
¿Escobita nueva barre?
Bien.
barre bien. So brand new broom,
Yeah, it works
picks
great.
so much better. So then at the end of the day, now you have this guy, you're happily married, your wife passes away, you have kids. Now all of a sudden you met a girl, you're head over heels, this new person. And no, but she has a kid now too from previous marriage.
Yeah, that's
I mean, it's what did we saw? We talked about blended.
Yes, blended
You know what I'm
families.
saying? Not the movie.
No,
but the
blended
movie.
families.
Blended. But anyway.
And let me add a whole other layer.
The
The other common one I get is, okay, I want to leave all this to my kids. Pero la esposa no coge nada, ¿verdad? The wife doesn't inherit. My child's wife doesn't inherit, right? I want to leave it to my kid, not to his spouse. That's the other major concern parents have.
If the kid gets the money,
yes.
It depends if they're
The daughter-in-law or the son-in-law, I'll get that a lot. My son-in-law is a mooch. My son-in-law is un vago. My son-in-law doesn't do anything. I want to leave it to my daughter, but I don't want him to be able to get anything.
And I'm going to give you another one. I'm going to keep on.
That's a big one.
That's a big one.
I'm going to give you more crazy rent stories. And these are true ones. I know I'm not going to mention the names, but I know the people. I know the series. So here you are. You were married, had 2 kids. That person, the man passes away.
Okay.
Divorced. They're already divorced.
Okay.
Huge, messy divorce. A lot of assets in between. The girl, now he passed away. He left everything to his 2 girls. The 2 girls inherit everything. Over his dead body, I would ever think that guy wanted to know that the ex-wife had her paws on any of this. But the girls are younger. So then what? Now they have, they can't just, they have to rely on their mother to say, Mom, what do I do with the money that dad left?
Yeah.
So again, how does that work? Do you have to leave that sense that your mother can't touch this money if you're a minor?
Well, okay, so
I'm getting into this.
Oh, no.
Hard to control, though, no?
And I will happily, I love all this stuff.
That's what I'm saying.
I do. I love it.
This is why you got to call Alina.
Yes.
Yeah.
So in that situation, if they set up their estate planning the way they should have, dad would have done a trust. Dad would have named a trustee. It doesn't have to be mom. It could be whoever it wants to be a trustee over the property of those daughters. So there's one thing of being a guardian or a trustee over the person versus over the property. So the mother, until you're 18 years of age, the mom is the guardian over them individually as
Right,
kids.
as a parent,
But
correct.
he can leave a trustee to manage the assets. Mom has no involvement, no say, nothing in that.
So if mom even wants to do it, she has to go talk to a trustee.
Exactly.
Regarding,
and mom has no say because the trustee is the one that reinvests.
Or vice
the
versa,
money.
dad or mom. Correct.
So, and then once those kids hit a certain age, and it doesn't even have to be 18, you can put 21, 25, 30, whatever your condition is, or you can say, okay, they get 50% at 25 and another 50 at 30, lo que sea. Then they get their distribution. Then, once they get their distribution, now it's up to them what they do with the money.
Correct.
Now, if he did not leave estate planning, in the state of Florida, any minor that inherits over $18,000 needs to have a guardianship to protect for exactly that reason, so that the other parent doesn't take the money.
Bet you nobody knew this.
And exactly. Yeah. But now, that guardianship process involves attorneys, involves courts, costly, and is up to the child 18. At 18, they get the money. So if that was a concern of yours and you didn't want your child to get it, bueno, ahora, too bad because you didn't plan.
En el idioma callejero se dice, te jodiste.
Te jodiste. And that's why, as my father would say, towards refrán, lo barato sale caro.
100%.
And people that say, oh, I don't have $4,000 to do a trust, and oh my God, y eso cuesta. But you know what? Ask me how much a guardianship costs. Yeah. And it depends on the age of the child. The younger there is, the longer, and you're always involved. You always have the court involved. You always have an attorney involved.
You'll get dripped out.
Exactly.
You end up getting nothing.
Probate.
Who wants to live like that?
Yeah.
A probate can easily cost anywhere between $8,000-$10,000. And y si están fajándose, oh my God, easily $20,000-$30,000.
Easy to me.
So that's why when people, tell me, oh, I don't have $5,000 or I don't have $4,000 to do my estate planning, I'm like, okay, well, I mean, I get it. I understand. It's,
Yeah.
But
do you offer like payment plans?
Yes, absolutely. We do.
Work with people.
We absolutely do.
Think about it. I was just going to tell you. I mean, payment plan, finance, whatever. I mean, think about it.
There's no excuse. There really isn't. It's really something that you need to do. You should have it done. It gives you peace of mind and it gives you control to be able to say who you want to leave your assets to and under what conditions.
Do you ever see situations where people get like worried or nervous or anything about doing like a prenup or anything like that? Or
they do. I have had clients that they are starting to do their estate planning and they're in the process of getting married. And if one of their concerns is, bueno, I built all this up before getting married, I don't mind leaving, taking care of my wife, but my thing is you need a prenup because under the laws of the state of Florida, spouses have certain rights and certain protections even in death.
I don't see anything bad with that.
I don't either.
I don't understand all these people that say, oh, no, we're married. What's mine is yours. Why? No. I mean, listen, if I knew, I didn't know you before and you made $100,000, that's yours.
Yeah.
And, you did it. Now we'll build together.
Yeah.
Maybe we can build $1 million together and that we can share. But that $100,000, even though whatever.
We're going to do it anyways. I mean,
I know,
you get
but
to your
still.
spouse.
The biggest misconception also that people have is they bought an apartment. Let's not even talk about millions. Let's talk about a property. A simple, their apartment. They had their apartment. No, but eso era mío. That was mine before I got married. That's mine. So then they get married and they assume, well, that's mine. It's going to go to my kids. No. The minute that you get married and you don't have a prenup, that is now a marital asset. And especially if you lived in it with your spouse has certain rights to that asset and you cannot leave it straight to your children. And people...
And remember...
That's one of the hardest things when I sit down with the kids and they sit there and go, but my mom bought this before. My mom thought, I'm sorry, it's not. That's the law says this.
Unless there's a prenup.
Unless there's a prenup.
And you can do a post-nup.
You can do a post-nup, yeah.
Still the same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody thinks, listen, God bless all these great marriages.
Yeah.
Someone work, but nobody knows anybody until you get a divorce.
Yeah.
Because all of a sudden, everybody's like, never, never, never. And then all of a sudden, there's a divorce, and then you have, it's over here. It's over here. And then they're going, oh, but wait. You know what I'm saying? What about, what about this?
Yes.
And what about that?
Yes.
And you're like, what?
And then you have that outside influence. Don't let them do that.
Correct.
Yeah, I seen that live.
That's
crazy, man. It's really bad. It's really sad.
It is.
Listen, there's nobody out there that's going to be watching this podcast that does not know a story, and I would love for people to comment.
Yeah.
There's not people that say, oh, I have friends of mine going through that right now because it's the law.
It is.
The law of life that and depending how the divorce is, if somebody cheated on somebody, it's not a good one, it goes nasty. Guys, I cannot emphasize enough that people need to get everything ahead of the game.
Yeah.
And for between whatever it is, from one amount to the other amount, call people like Alina. And does it cost to go see you?
We do charge a consultation fee, but if you hire us, it's credited back.
Okay.
So it's free. But we do charge a small consultation fee because you're sitting down.
Taking your time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But we credit it back to you. If you hire us, you get that credit back, so it's free.
Even though, it's probably going to be the best consultation fee that you're ever going to do.
You're going to get peace of mind.
Exactly.
That you're going to get peace of mind.
Exactly.
That you can probably say, listen, your situation is really easy peasy.
Yeah.
Your situation could really be complicated. Those are the things that I just tell people. You spend money on so many other stuff.
Yeah.
And this is something that is an investment that you can do. And, and I'm sure, are you going to give one of these?
Absolutely.
Okay. So you're going to take one of these and you
Absolutely.
can store it somewhere.
Yes.
Not where Eddie, because Eddie doesn't want people to see his. But,
No, they got a safe.
But you get on the safe of the house because they're going to say, what's in there?
What's the combination?
No,
it's in the book.
You're going to have to go to a bank, brother.
It's in the book.
Yeah. Either that or you're going to have to go to a safe deposit in a bank.
No, don't do that.
No?
Oh, my God, no.
Oh, wait. What's wrong
Okay,
with the
why?
safety
Why?
deposit?
Because what if an emergency happens on a weekend and you have your documents in there and you have, let's say, your power of attorneys, your healthcare surrogate.
Alina,
and the bank is
something
closed.
has to happen. At least
Yeah,
2 days.
Do copies.
Yes,
Yeah.
well,
You have to
that's
have 2
fine.
days.
That's fine. Okay, yes, you can keep the
know?
originals there, but make sure you have a copy.
How do you know it's an original?
Oh,
Have you had a situation where,
Yeah,
anyone
absolutely.
could sign something and say, my husband signed
yes.
this property over to me.
Right.
Absolutely.
No, and
Well,
four
yes.
signatures.
Yeah. Oh,
Maya.
I can sit here and tell.
Not that we don't live in the capital of corruption.
We need a second part 2 of this
Yes,
one.
yes.
Of all the war stories.
So tell me about that.
So just for real estate and estate planning, we have a very simple. We don't use black ink. We don't use black ink. We use blue ink. You will not find a pen in my office that is black ink.
But I've heard that sometimes.
Because-
Every time you sign things,
Yes,
blue.
in blue, because you can tell that it's an original. Even though there's great, wonderful color copies and color print. but you can tell.
AI.
Yeah, you
Auto pen.
You can tell. And yes, I had one time an original will. And when we sent it to the court, because once a person dies, the will does get deposited with the court. So the will does become public records. That's when it does become. A trust does not, ever. We deposited the will. The clerk kicked it back. And the clerk said, nope, this is a copy. And we're like, no, this is the original. And we literally had to get like an opinion of like a handwriting expert saying, no, this is an original, because it was signed in black. And it was so hard to tell whether it was like a copy or an original. And we needed that because the court would refuse to accept it. They were saying, no, this is a photocopy. This is a photocopy, and they wouldn't. Until we got that, then they admitted it or they accepted it. But we generally, and in real estate, same thing. All lenders, you cannot sign closing documents with black ink. They specify blue ink. It's just the easiest way to distinguish
I didn't know that.
a photocopy from an original.
But to think about it, to her point, how many people here,
Yeah, of course.
say, oye, dice que en el banco hay 50 y pico mil pesos. Dame acá, yo firmo. You know what I'm saying? Everybody here
Have you
does.
had situations where you know it's fraud? Like
Oh, yeah.
know it?
I right now, currently, I have 3 probate litigation where we are contesting the validity of the will.
Wow.
Of
So
whether
do you
or
have
not,
the authorities involved in that too, Alina, or no?
No, it's a civil matter. It's civil, and we're basically contesting the validity of whether or not the person had the mental capacity to sign. Like you see in the movies that abuelo's on his deathbed and they're there in the hospital. Sign here. And da-da-da. Well,
That's what they were. Well, never mind.
these are big.
That's what they were doing with Joe Biden and the parties.
Oh, it's an auto pen. I just said it. Auto pen.
Yeah, so I signed this documents here, you know.
So the thing is, a will always has to be signed in the presence of 2 witnesses and a notary public. So the way we litigate that is we take the depositions of those witnesses. We take the deposition of yes.
And they can lead into trouble if they're like.
Exactly. And as a best practice on my end, I will get many times people come in where the caretaker is bringing in abuelito y an abuelita, and also an abuelito and abuelita.
No, with silla rueda and
Yes,
oxygen tank.
an oxygen tank. And conveniently, abuelito wants to leave everything to the caretaker. So in situations like that where
4 Xanax later.
if I have any type of
way.
all the time.
This is Italian.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah, man! I've heard. I'm so glad you. I've heard of stories.
Yes,
of that.
and no offense, but
Wait,
it's
if that
it's
happened-
my peeps that just got here, and all of a sudden they're at the living ahí en la casa taking care of abuelito and abuelita, y tú sabes, ay viejo, yo te quiero tanto, and who's the one that
There's a
takes care of
movie.
you?
There was a movie. There was one or two
way.
movies that came out with
yes.
that fact.
But that's happening right here in Miami.
all the time, all
So you're
the
telling me
time.
caretakers will take your grandparents. Viejito,
We're not
old-
saying all of them.
I know.
We're
but
saying
their
the
stories,
fact. There's
and they'll take them
stories.
to
All
an
the time.
attorney,
Yes.
The attorney, and they'll try to get wills signed
Yes,
into them.
yes, all the time. So
Brother, remember,
yes.
the people out there, just as, like an executive or whatever, is thinking the fraudster is thinking of
Yep.
how to defraud.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They're always looking.
And it's especially if this elderly person, if, the kids aren't that involved in their
Yeah, of
lives.
course.
And so little by little, empiezan a comer el cerebro. They're like,
Maybe
oh,
even that their
your
kids
kid
don't
never
live
calls
here.
you. Your kid never sees you. I'm always here with you. I love you. And they start
Oh,
building, and
Wait
then
a
it gets to
second.
the point where they're like,
I'm having a
oh,
flashback of a housekeeper that usually I never see here. Espérate, that woman
So
smells
if-
a little fishy.
if I have
Ow.
any type of concern, I want a letter from your physician. I want a letter from your doctor stating that you're clear of sound mind, because I can't make that determination.
Yeah.
And no, there's all sorts of, and if I have a concern or anything, I will record
Okay.
the will signing session, going through and making sure, do you understand, and in case that person passes away, they try to contest the will. I protect myself and I build my record, because again, once that person is gone, they can't testify.
Do you do like final messages? Like, hey,
No.
final message to your family on a camera. And then
No, that's in the movies.
Your dad had something for you. Beep.
It's in the book. In the book, you could put some
Okay,
final
okay.
thoughts.
Before we go, I got another
Yeah.
one, another wrench.
Yeah.
That can happen also to all these. Listen, I've seen it.
Yeah.
I've seen this like this from
Yeah.
eye to eye of people. My parents have known friends that their parents never wanted to move. They wanted to stay here in Miami. The kids live
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
in another state, in another
Absolutely.
country. They're not the best,
Mm-hmm.
let's say, per se, kids. I call them that. Not those kids, maybe they are, but everybody has a different way of taking care of.
Mm-hmm.
But some parents are on an ALF.
Yeah.
And, they maybe call once every 3 months, 4 months. And to your point, I don't want any bad comments of, ALF. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that you have to have those people protected,
Yeah.
because the same thing as a caretaker
Absolutely.
can happen in all these like senior places.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying?
Elder abuse is a real thing, and it's not physical abuse. It is taking their money away, building that trust with them, that they're in a vulnerable situation,
Yep.
and abusing that trust.
Especially if they see that person every day.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And they start like, cogiéndole cariño,
Absolutely.
that person, because their kid lives maybe in another country.
Absolutely. And they start, yeah, that's true. And like I said, they'll start comiéndole cerebro, like, oh, your kid never calls, oh, your kid's not around. And little by little, planting
Yeah.
little
I'm doing a
seeds.
new business, and if I only had like an investor at $20,000,
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And trust me, when with my own parents, my brother and I think we were very, very involved,
Oh, that's like me and my
in
sister,
their
100%,
lives.
Yes.
But it gets to a point when they have a daily caretaker there, and they start to, cogerle lástima. And I would find out
100%.
that,
Yeah.
certain money. Oh, I paid for this.
Really?
And I'm
You
like,
see that? But you see
what?
it. There you go.
And I paid for that. What?
Yes.
And
Yes.
you
What are you
have
doing
to
in
be
the case?
careful.
You swap it out, or you go and call them out?
I call them out.
You call
No,
them
you
out.
got no. She's an attorney.
I call them out.
I want to turn it into
I call them out.
something that I know.
Oye, I can tell you one. I had one in my parents' house that she was there, and I would laugh because when I would call every morning, I know so-and-so is having breakfast. Who's having breakfast? And my mom go, no, the girl's having breakfast. What do you mean? Oh, your dad. She gets here. He does her. You want toast? You want coffee?
Makes her breakfast.
Oh, yeah. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, so who's caretaking for who here? How does this work?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then I'm okay with the fact, we're not,
Yeah.
do whatever you
Of
want.
course.
But, you're supposed to, help them out.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And then all of a sudden, it's like, where's dad now? Oh, no, he went to take so-and-so over there to take it. Oh, she didn't feel good today, so she took her. I don't know where. I go, but oye, enough. We got to switch this one out.
Yes.
Because this was one that later, she's my mom, le regalé una cadenita.
Exactly.
Was
And
she
then I'm
good
like,
looking
whoa.
at least, or-
No.
And to think about it.
No. My dad's gonna be 90 this Monday, and my mom's 85.
Oh my God, bless them.
And their sound and mine are
God
spectacular,
bless them.
You know
God
what I'm saying?
bless them.
But let me tell you something. Like I tell you, we're gonna hear it tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
Because this for me is this is vital. And I love when we spotlight these things, because I'm gonna tell you right now, I want you to call me in a week and tell me. So many people call me, because this is something that has to be done.
Yeah.
And there's, again, it's not the cost, guys.
It's
go
peace
get a
of mind.
consultation for anything. Look at everything that we've covered. The kids, the elderly, the this. If you write everything and you specify everything, you have an attorney that has that is, you take a trip. How many of us don't say, oye, vamos a un crucero.
Oh, yeah.
Vamos in something. Again, and we're going to go to another question, but I have to add this one because it's important. Dear friend of mine, speaking to him on his way over here while everybody's calling me like, oh, where are you? Where are you? I'm arriving. The guy had to go to a 14-hour trip.
Mm-hmm.
The guy got sick from Washington, getting on the plane. He got like a virus. He would not stop throwing up and the stomach. They had to put him in an area in the plane.
Oh wow!
Close to the toilets.
Yeah.
And he said, "I'm totally healthy," and it's not that. It was a 14-hour flight. So when he got to where he got, they had to rush him to the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
His vitals could have affected his kidneys,
Mm-hmm.
and he said, "I could have been easily already in dialysis." And he said, who would have ever told me? So I'm just giving you that example as how anything can just change.
You never
to your
know.
point of a car crash or whatever.
You never know.
In seconds, and you just say, coño, shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Thank
you. Know
you.
What I'm saying?
Thank you.
So it's crazy to me. It's crazy to me. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But anyway.
I know you also do title.
Yes, we do. We
Okay,
do
so
real
I
estate,
mean,
yeah.
from that, I just know that everybody. I was a realtor for 5 years, and buying properties, etc. Everybody hates title insurance, right? Everybody hates.
They think it's
title
useless.
Insurance. They think it's useless, and they think it's just a fee that goes to the title agency. Can you tell us a little bit about title fees and the purpose of title insurance?
Absolutely. So, title insurance covers you as to the past. It's the total opposite. Like health insurance is if you get sick in the future. Car insurance is if you have an accident in the future. Title insurance is making sure that from the moment you purchase that property to the past, there's not going to be any skeletons coming out that someone can have a claim on your house, or that something, was missed or whatnot. And luckily, for the most part, there I have very few stories because, as title agents, we try to, we do a good job. But I have had situations where recently I had one that the previous owner had a PACE loan. I don't know if you've heard of PACE loans, or the ones that people take out through the government to improve their home for like impact windows, solar panels. Yes. And what they do is they add it to your property taxes, right? It's a loan, but it's not, people think, because it's not a mortgage that it doesn't count. It's like, I don't know. Anyway, it never got paid off. So all of a sudden now our client is selling the house. We're doing title. It comes up from a previous owner. And because there's no monthly payment to make like a mortgage, it's paid through your property taxes.
It takes longer to pay
Nobody knew.
Yeah.
Like nobody, it didn't go into foreclosure or anything like that. But there was a substantial balance due on it. And all of a sudden they're like, wait a second, but that's not ours. That's the previous owner's. We contacted that title company. They messed up.
Yeah.
They never paid it off. So they had to file a claim on
Against
that
the previous
policy.
title company.
Absolutely. Against the title insurance policy. And that policy paid
How
it
many
off.
of these things
But-
do you see a day?
This is what
yeah.
I'm saying, though. If I'm paying a title company
Yes.
to do the whole search,
Yeah.
I need to then get an insurance to protect myself against the title company I'm paying that's supposed to look out for things like that. I think the title company should get the insurance to protect
Yeah, to
themselves.
protect themselves,
Like,
yeah.
that's
Well,
why,
we
I've
do.
never really understood
We
that,
have
you know?
E&O insurance. We have errors and omissions. We are required to have it. So as an attorney, I don't have to have malpractice insurance. I can practice law without it. And if I get sued, I have to deal with it.
Deal with it.
Because I'm a title agent, my underwriter, my title insurance
Requires. Yeah,
that I have
makes
E&O
sense.
insurance.
How many people deny the title insurance?
That they don't want to
Yeah,
have
I
it?
don't want that.
Very minimal.
Very minimal.
Very, very few. Because again, it's not worth the risk for the cost. The cost is
I know,
not that
something
much.
pops up.
Yeah, the cost is not that much. You pay for it one time. That's it. You don't have to like renew that policy every year like you do your car or your health.
That's a good point, yeah.
It's one time at the time you purchase, and it gives you that peace of mind. And if heaven forbid something were to come up, well, no, you file a claim against that policy. But it's honestly, it's minimal. I have had it happen where clients are like, nah, forget it. I don't want it. But it's really, it's not.
I just feel like that's such an easy layup for title company, for insurance companies. Like, they're going to buy it. Everyone's going to buy it.
Yeah.
But anyways, you had something? Or?
No. You the next one.
Oh, no. I just wanted to do like an official book plug because you guys don't understand how good this is.
Listen, I plugged this book 4 times.
End of life planner. If I go to you, do I get this for free?
If you
or
if you
I get this
consultation.
If we do your estate planning, we sit down and if you retain us to do your estate planning, we give you one of these for free with your estate plan as part of it. Yes.
No. I mean,
I have a simpler version that you can download off the website. It's not as intense as this.
No.
It's a little simpler for free. You can download it from our
website.
website.
Wait, though, you guys don't understand. This is amazing.
Oh yeah, wait till Barbie gets the book now. She's going, oh my God. This
really
lady
thorough.
gave me work to do now for a month. I want every page filled out here.
No, I mean, I could, but we usually give it to them and they can fill out as much or as little as they want. And again, I know, I tell them, look, I know a lot of that information is going to probably change in your life.
Yeah.
That's fine, if you need to scratch, but it's a basic.
Well, but this is a basic. This is a preliminary. Exactly. Like, how much stuff can really change from here? Your life insurance, maybe code, maybe once in a while.
Yeah. But it's a good foundation and people love it,
Alina, let me tell you something. This for me has been such a huge informative podcast. I enjoy these. And again, I emphasize on the fact that, you should look into the fact of doing like little conferences and stuff.
I do.
No, really? I think that's
you have
wonderful.
a webinar coming up.
I have a
Tell
webinar.
us about that, please.
Yes.
I didn't even know this. This is why they call me the prodigy.
Yes. I do very frequent webinars.
I love that.
On all sorts of different topics. Mostly estate planning, but within estate planning, we'll focus on certain things. Like right before school started, not to derail, but we were talking about what happens when my son just graduated high school and he turned 18 in June.
In Columbus, no?
Yes, he did.
Oh, mine's in Columbus.
Yeah? Awesome. Adelante.
Yeah.
And as soon as he turned 18, he's an adult.
Yeah.
If I go to the doctor with him and he doesn't want me in that room and he doesn't want the doctor to tell me anything about his health information, they don't have to.
Wow.
Yeah, it's true.
Exactly. So I did a whole webinar for parents or having college kids transitioning of what documents do you need to have in place for your kids?
Yeah. That's so important, especially going out to college.
Exactly. Yeah. So we have one coming up now in December that we're going to be doing live free webinar. You can register through our website. We post it all over our social media, and we'll be talking about
we'll
things
go
like
ahead
that.
and put that. We'll put that in there.
December 4th.
Yeah.
December 4th. For right
December
now.
4th, and we have it, and it's free webinar. I love educating. I have a ton of also little videos. Like I said, every month I put out a bunch of content on frequently asked questions about estate planning, about probate, about real estate, just to kind of debunk a lot of the myths that people think and kind of just give some information, educate people about the importance of getting this done.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
I
love it. But before we go.
Some questions.
Yes.
But no.
These are your hardest questions.
But which one are you doing? Which one?
I'm going to do the new one.
Oh, boy.
Change it up a little bit. Change it up.
Okay. But we have to tell you, Alina, this is brought to you by BrandsMart.
Yes.
So this is a question that has to involve the BrandsMart. Are you familiar with BrandsMart?
Very much.
So BrandsMart has been a great supporter and sponsor, and Eddie has 3 questions for you from BrandsMart.
Okay.
So this episode or this segment is presented by BrandsMart. Okay.
Didn't I just say that?
Okay. Give us your top 3 gifts on your wish list for Christmas
From BrandsMart.
That I want?
That you would love, or you would buy from there for your husband, for the house.
Story that I have. Anything that I would want. A new dishwasher.
Okay.
A new dishwasher. Yes.
So you can teach the kids a little bit.
Yeah, they're in charge of it. Ours has been giving us a little headaches.
Okay.
And I hear them complain all the time and give me excuses of why the dishes aren't done. So a new dishwasher would definitely be one. What else? A new TV, maybe? A nice
Some
TV
really
with
nice
surround
TV.
system.
That's a really,
I-
surround sound?
Yes,
If I tell you, there's a huge special on that one right now.
Yeah.
We're gonna tell the hubby.
Awesome.
Listen, hubby.
Yeah. they have like 75 inches for $400.
Oh, wow.
crazy.
No,
It's crazy.
it's crazy.
It's
so a
ridiculous.
nice new big
Okay,
TV
all
with
right.
surround
What's the
sound.
hubby's name?
Walter.
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 You already know what she wants. We're giving you tips now. Okay? And number one.
And number one,
Well,
oh my god.
Are you a coffee girl?
Yes, I
Your
am.
coffee? They have
Yes.
beautiful espresso machines.
There you go.
They have beautiful,
There
you have one
you
in the
go.
office?
We don't.
You don't have
We
an espresso
don't because
machine?
we have a Don Pong downstairs.
Maybe.
Oh, well,
Santa may bring
And
you
a
some.
Starbucks.
No, God.
We have a Starbucks and a Don Pong
no
downstairs.
one's not if you have that here.
No, but we need one upstairs.
No, but you can save money.
Yes,
Yeah, you can
yes,
save money,
yes.
of
And
course.
make
Save
make our own
money. Save
espumita.
Yes.
All right, and then the next question.
Go for it.
Yes.
No, you. That's yours.
No.
You're hijacking all the different questions, but that's
No,
okay. Go
it's
ahead.
to change it up.
Yeah.
Because
No, by the way, in that will, I'm going to put what one's going to say now.
There you go.
if they got to change it up because the same person has the same thing, you know?
Okay, so name us. It doesn't have to be, I always like to see your favorite two-goes. Name us
You got to
your
tell it.
three.
Presented by
This is brought to you by Toast. Your favorite?
POS System in South Florida.
There you go. Alina, name 3 of your top 3 restaurants that you and the
wow.
family love to go to anywhere.
Start with number 3.
Start with number 3.
Oh my gosh, this is a tough one because I like so much different
Well, but
food
I-
and restaurants. Oh,
Think about, I go here, Paso Ben, and I love it.
well, this would be my number one.
Well, then
No,
leave it.
yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna
Yeah.
leave. I'm gonna
Go
leave
with
that.
three.
Okay,
Go with
I'm gonna
three.
leave it number. I'll leave that for number one.
Yeah.
Number 3, I would say I love sushi, and one of my favorite for years has been shibui.
Oh, I love Shibuya.
Love shibui.
By your house.
Yes, I
Yes.
know.
I go upstairs and I
Yes,
sit
on the
Indian
floor.
style. I go
Yes.
with Victoria whenever she comes.
Yes.
She loves that. We should go with my
Yes.
grandfather.
I love
So they're in
shibui.
US 1.
No,
Yeah.
it's
On
no.
Sunset.
On Sunset.
Right,
Yeah.
Sounds, you know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sunset and 102nd.
Milana.
Oh,
So
daughter.
that would be one. The next one,
number 2.
I love Mexican food, and one of my favorite kind of family owned is Don Burrito, also on Sunset.
That's good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don Burrito is awesome
I
for
have not
Mexican
been.
food.
Mexican food in Miami has been on the rise. You know, I know it's always
I
been here,
love
but they're
Mexican
getting better
food.
and better.
Yeah, but to find good.
Good, yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Remember.
Cuisine in Miami has it really elevated.
Oh,
a
no,
little bit,
it's
too. Yeah.
spectacular. Okay, dale, number
And
1.
number 1, I am a true Miami girl, Flanagan.
I agree with you. It's
Flanagan's.
I don't care what they say. Caballo says they have microwave wings. I love those wings, man. Bueno, bonito,
Y barato. I love the ribs. Half rack ribs with
Oh,
curly
yeah, you
fries.
can't go.
That's my
I haven't
favorite.
been in a while, but
We gotta
yeah.
go, man.
Yeah.
And,
You know?
and they've been they're a good
Consistent.
franchise.
Yeah.
They're consistent.
They are.
They're a staple, you know.
So those are like my local go-to places.
I
And,
love it,
you know,
I
we
love
will
it,
go
I
to
love
nicer up, but those are like my
but
go-to.
That's what I
That's
said.
amazing. You're a real
That's
Miami
right.
girl.
I am.
Alina, what a pleasure.
A
Thank you.
pleasure.
We
Likewise.
love this.
Thank
I love this.
you.
I love
Thank
this.
you. It
Thank
was
you
a
so much.
pleasure.
Everybody, call Alina. Dale.
Yes.
Thank you, Alina.